Welcome to Rev Up Your Business with Hilda Gann, the podcast for people-centric leaders, business owners, and HR professionals who know that people are at the heart of business success. Join me and industry experts as we explore the key aspects of building a thriving company, sharing cutting-edge strategies, impactful insights, and the latest trends to help you ignite your business growth. It's time to rev up your leadership, rev up your success. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Rev Up Your Business. Today, my guest is Jackie Porter. Jackie is an award-winning certified financial planner, and for 25 years, she's been advising families, established businesses, and professionals in the GTA. She is recognized as Canada's financial confidant. She is a financial speaker, a financial strategist, and a wealth professional. She co-authored Single by Choice or Chance, The Smart Woman's Guide to Living Longer, Better. It's a guide that was created to help women prepare better for their financial future. Raised by a single mom who passed away when Jackie was in her teens, Jackie learned early the importance of becoming financially independent. Her advice and financial strategies have been featured in the top financial publications such as Forum, Wealth Professional, Investment Executive, The Star, and the Globe and Mail. As well, she has been interviewed on radio programs and podcasts and television shows such as Breakfast Television, The Agenda, CBC, Global News, TV News, and BNN. Amazing, Jackie. Jackie's also been an award winner. She's the award winner of the Mackenzie Investment Awards for Female Trailblazer of the Year in 2019 and 2021. Wealth Professional Awards, and along with that, winning the Advisor of the Year in 2023. She is an amazing advocate for financial planning, and now you know why. And she is out there sharing her knowledge and helping people feel more comfortable and confident in their financial planning and success. So let's get started and let's talk about Runway to Wealth for Entrepreneurs. Jackie, welcome and thank you for fitting us in your very, very busy schedule.
It's such a pleasure. I always enjoy our conversations.
Good. So we talked about Runway to Wealth, and when you first said, I'm going to talk about Runway to Wealth, I'm going, so what is Runway to Wealth? What is it? Tell us.
Runway when you're a business owner is so crucial. Many business owners will actually start businesses without actually having a runway, and it creates so much mental and financial havoc. So what Runway is having 6 to 12 to 24 months of what you need to pay the bills of your company. And also, what do you have to pay your own personal bills? So I know so many entrepreneurs out there, chief cook and bottle washers, and they are not even taking an income from their business. Why? Because they never had this runway. So a runway means you should be able to pay yourself out of the business. So if you're not that person who has that, personal runway, you absolutely, positively, no way out of this, folks. You need your own runway in your business, again, of 6 to 12 to 24 months to pay the bills of your company, including yourself. So that's what the runway is. And so what you need to do, you need to think through, have that business plan. You need to have the cash reserves so that you're preparing yourself, because, running a business is sometimes a journey, especially the startup phase. There can be many sleepless nights waiting for receivables to come in. So you really want to prepare, have that business plan, have good credit, be able to ask if you don't have the cash, be able to, structure business agreements, business loans if need be, having money that you can access to pay the bills until you're ready till the business is healthy enough, financially healthy enough to pay you.
I know when you're saying this, like 6, 9, 12 months, people are probably thinking, what? How am I going to do that? And I know myself when you just even simply do the mathematics, especially when you have employees, we were in the professional service business when my husband and I had our engineering company. We pay our staff every 2 weeks, regardless, and we pay rent, etc. But by the time we bill our clients, it's after the 2 weeks that we paid the staff, and then they think they can pay. It's not buying lemonade or making lemonades. They pay us anywhere from 2 to 3 months, even though you say payment in 15 or 30 days. So
Right.
essentially, you have to have enough money to cover that period that they decide to pay you, 3 months or whatever. So yeah, I get that. So I'm thinking, okay, how do we manage it? Mentally, in my mind, it was 3 months. And then of course we had the loan from the bank
That's what I
to
mean.
to float.
You
So
have all of those as floats, but the
okay,
reason I
so
say this, because I wanted business owners to start thinking ahead, because the journey to, building a business can be challenging, especially financially. And it's just like owning a home. You can't just have the down payment, folks, to buy a house. All these expenses come out of nowhere as soon as you venture into the house. You need furniture, you need, maybe repairs that you have to do on the home. So think of your business the same way. Go in with understanding what your personal cash flow needs are and start thinking about places you can trim. This isn't the time to be, if you're starting a business, going on vacations and, living that lifestyle, unless you're financially in a very good place. So understand your numbers going into the business, so that as your business grows, you can start to understand how your business is changing. As soon as you're paying if you can't pay yourself to start with, recognize that the money is going to come from somewhere. Are you going to have to go into more debt just to keep your business going? You want your business to be profitable, so you got to start with that point where you're paying yourself. That's actually to be a huge manifestation. You're paying yourself because you got the cash, so that the other thing that's going to happen as your business grows and you execute on your business plan, then your customers are paying you.
I kind of laugh at that because sometimes you hear business owners who've been going along and they're happy and whatnot, and finally about a year later they'll say, this is a milestone day. I'm actually paying myself now. I'm going, how long have you been in the business for? So it really makes sense for people to think about all the things that they need. And I'm going to give you an example from a personal perspective. My husband and I are very conscious about money and cash, and we thought we understood everything. And our first home was going to be, we bought a townhouse, and what we budgeted for in the townhouse, what we didn't realize in hindsight, is that the condo fees, if we had understood the condo fees, that addition, we could have bought a bigger house with part of the condo fees, part of it's covering other things like hydro or something, which
Right.
we would have come out. But that extra $150 worth of mortgage payments could have gone to a higher home because we had those condo fees that we, budgeted for, but they should have gone to a mortgage and a bigger house and a better resale value on a bigger home. So learn to understand some of those parameters that you should be thinking about. Maybe you don't know because we didn't know out of not knowing, but ask questions. And nowadays we have Google. We can search anything and everything.
Chat GPT. How much do I need? This is the business industry I'm going into. How much will I need? How much, if I'm being conservative, is it going to cost me to, for all the different things that my business is going to need? Build that business budget so that you have a sense of, what you're going to need for 3 to 6 months. Because are you truly in business, Hilda, if you haven't taken a paycheck for a year or 2 years?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the point, truly? Right? Because that's a mindset
It's
shift.
the passion.
Well, you know what? It's a mindset shift, because we're talking to business owners, female business owners in particular, and we want them to shift in a mindset of being a CEO where you're building wealth. And you're
Yeah.
not building wealth if you're going into business thinking that you're going to be a slave and have to do everything yourself and it's going to be hard. No, let's plan for a business where we're going to grow and build wealth, right? So start there, know your numbers, live below your means, make sure you have that reserve. It's going to mean sleeping better at night. It's going to mean you understand, have way more insight into how your business is growing, so that when you actually start to make money, it's going to be easier to build. So you're starting from somewhere versus you're in debt because you didn't plan. You're now in a scenario where you're chief cook and bottle wash. You don't have your business is growing, but you don't have the money to add people higher because you didn't plan for these things. Really
And I
executing
talked about passion, and I think that's a driving force. You got to find something that you love to do, because there are
right.
too many, there are highs, but there are lows. And those lows are offset by the fact that you're doing something that you love to do and you want to do. So we've talked about planning and runway. And then, but there's some point where you say, okay, this is how much it costs. But in order for me to grow, I got to make an investment. I got to spend more money than I have. So, what is the risk of trying to expand and that on investment, or losing your shirt because you didn't plan the risk, calculate the risk well enough to offset the cost of that
Yeah, no,
risk?
that's a great question. And the only thing I'm going to add to the runway piece
Yep.
is I deal with a lot of personal injury lawyers, so I do a lot of work with them. So, and I'm in finance, so I have my own runway. And there's two pieces to runway. One is what's the runway of the industry you're in, because
Gotcha.
it might mean a much larger amount you have to put away. So, for example, in personal injury, it might take 6 months, it might take a year, it might take 2 years to see the money that you get, the money that you've been, fighting for your clients for. It might take 2 years before you get it, and there's high overhead. So you need two things: good credit to access a loan, to access lines of credit, and you need a much bigger runway. So the people who I work with tend to have a year to 2 years of runway saved up, because it just means I can sleep better. No, I can pay my employees, I can pay myself. So as
Yep.
they get these big checks, because the reward for that longer
Yep.
runway and higher overhead is bigger paychecks. So once they
Right.
get it,
Yeah.
it's the discipline of putting that runway away again, right? Once you've almost depleted it. So important to understand in the industry you're in, what do you need to set aside to have that runway? And in my own business, I tend to like to have a couple of years as well. I'm just that person who knows I love to see that there's money in the bank, earning some money to pay the bills. That's my reserve. I don't play around in the markets with that. That's what I have to work with. So just really important to understand the runway based on the industry you're in,
Yeah.
making sure you're putting away money to rebuild that reserve once you've used it. So going back to your question now about taking risk and the different types of risk. So there's two types of risk. There's exploratory risk when you own a business, and then there's also calculated risk. So let's talk a little bit about exploratory risk, because again, we tend to, as business owners, I've been there too, the whole shiny object thing where that sounds like a great idea. Let's execute on that. But have you done the research? Do you understand, for your specific market, for your specific client base that you're trying to attract, if that specific initiative is right for you? So before you go all in, remember, we just talked about reserve. Your reserve is important. Respect your reserve. Before you go all in and start spending large amounts of cash on a new initiative, have you done the research, market research? Have you surveyed your clients? Have you done some test marketing? I highly recommend starting small. Maybe doing, a pilot study, maybe doing a survey with your clients. Is this a product or initiative that,
Yeah.
you'll be able to sell?
And if I
So,
can
yeah, go ahead.
emphasize that, the client perspective, because what you think they need is, oh, this is great. They'll love it. They
Right,
actually don't care about that. That's not where they're bleeding. I remember the mutual coach that we had. She talked about vitamins and pain pills, right? People
right,
will buy pain pills to relieve the pain. They don't want vitamins that are good for us and will help us. That's not an urgency. That's not a need. So, ask the clients what they want and test.
100%. It's sometimes people only come when the pain is real. So, absolutely, Hilda.
Well,
So,
well, that happens on my side. People don't want HR advice to prevent a problem. They'll come to me with HR advice when they have the problem. And
that's
now
right.
we have to talk to lawyers and we have to settle. And they'll pay the money because they don't have a choice. But
That's
will they
right.
pay to educate their leaders to be strong leaders so turnover is reduced? It's a
Right.
healthy environment. People feel safe.
Right.
Well, why would I spend 10,000 when I could spend 100,000 on a settlement for somebody who we did not treat well enough that they decided that they needed a lawyer, right? So, sometimes they don't want to buy the vitamins.
Unfortunately. So, start with those small studies to figure out what it is your clients would be willing to pay money for. Don't go on a hunch. Don't go on what you think is going to work. Poll your clients, find out what they'd be interested in, do those
Exactly,
smaller
exactly.
studies, spend a smaller amount of cash and see what return you get on that. And then you can go from there. There's a really great book out there called Good to Great that talks about this because the thing about if you've done the surveys and you've done the polls and you've done the studies, did all the market research. This is why major companies do market research, by the way, before they launch an initiative, just because you get so much insights from market research. So you do that market research, so you do the small studies, you invest a small amount of cash and see the return you get, because then you can multiply your results from there. Versus you don't do the research, and then you do this major initiative that nobody wants, and burn through some of the reserve that you've been so fiercely protecting.
Yeah.
And so this is the book I wanted to mention is Good to Great, because in Good to Great they talk about the whole idea of firing bullets before firing cannonballs. You don't want to run out of bullets and then all of a sudden something's coming at you and you can't escape it. It's too late, right? So really important from a risk perspective to take calculated risks. So the first risk is exploratory risk, where you're doing a small study and then you do look at ways to multiply that result in your business with a much larger initiative. And that's the calculated risk. And that's kind of how you calculated the risk, because you started off small and you've done you're laser focused on your clients, you've done the research, so you understand what they want, and then you're multiplying those results in your business.
So we've talked about Runway, making sure people plan, and do their research to understand what they need to have enough runway.
Right.
And you've talked about 6 to 12 months. So figure that out, people, and do that. And we talked about risks, so that what money you have and your return on investment, plan that, understanding the possible risks involved. So
Yeah. Don't run off with shiny objects. I know as an entrepreneur, it's very tempted to chase those shiny
it
objects.
is. It very much is. So let's fast forward to a point in someone's journey, hopefully, where they do have wealth, and they're prudent enough that they have this wealth, but they need to maximize the use of it. And I know we're grateful for having advisors in our company when my husband and I had our our growth, that we had advisors to help us plan for maximizing our money. So I'd love to get your take to share to our listeners and viewers those strategies that you would recommend.
Yeah, I think once you start, I think you should do it as soon as you start to, see some the green happen in your business, right? Getting out of the red and going into the green. What a great color, right? Green. Anyway, I think as soon as you're there, it's a great time to have a conversation with a financial advisor to say, okay, how can I build wealth outside of my business? That's what we call in our industry diversifying your streams of income. So it's not just, you don't have to rely on just your business's income. And by the way, being a business owner, if you're good at it, it's one of the best ways to build wealth is to, be a business owner, be an entrepreneur. So if you do it right, there's a huge payoff there. But, again, those sleepless nights where you're worrying about the business, it's always nice to know you're building another asset class that's going to create another stream of income. That didn't mean it was your blood, sweat, and tears, right? So that's always lovely. So, one of the things that a financial advisor can do for you is to help you build that income stream, that capital. And, as you become, more successful in your business, I can't remember the rapper. I'm a huge music fan, but basically it's more money, more problems. So
And more
realistically,
taxes.
that's what I was going to say. More money, more problems, right? So a part of what that looks like is you have more taxes to pay. There's, the Tax Act in this country, in Canada, is, just a labyrinth of challenges. So you're going to need a financial planner to be a partner in your business to identify what are all your financial tax risks, what are ways to for the money you've accumulated, hold on to as much as you can of it by using the tax laws we have available to maximize what you can keep, right? And that means you also need an advisor who's incredibly collaborative. So that would mean, being able to work with your accountant. A really good advisor will have not only just a great team internally where they can help you with your, build a financial plan that you'll be able to build a secondary stream of income. So you'll have a sense of when your assets can retire. I know when I talk to business owners, they say they never want to retire from their business, but you know what? The truth is they love the choice. They love to know that,
Yeah.
based on what they'll build conservatively in their business and what assets they're building outside of their business, they'll have enough assets so they'll have the choice to stop working because their assets can retire them if they wish. But then, as we were talking about, more money, more problems, the tax challenges, it's really building that team. And the team includes finding my clients who might have challenges with their accountant that they have, because the accountant that you start off with, who might be a tax filer, might not be the accountant you end up with who's a tax advisor, because as you grow your business, you're going to need someone who's very versed in tax planning. And so, we have a vetted list of accountants we refer our clients to because we recognize that was something that they needed, a vetted list of bookkeepers, a vetted list of real estate agents, a vetted list of mortgage brokers, because over the course of the years we've been doing this, we're actually looking at adding, because of all of the challenges we see our entrepreneurs go through, a vetted list of therapists. Well, I'll keep you posted on that.
It takes a team to help
It
you run
does.
a
Yeah.
successful business,
You
and
can't do it alone, Hilda. You just can't.
as you're talking, I had several in mind, and I'll add one more. We grew our company from 2 people to 125 and 7 offices across Canada. So as we grew, we were looking at tax advantages. We were looking at our own financial planning. We had we wanted to make sure we had legal issues covered. And then we had a real estate agent. So we had 4 people who were called in. The real estate obviously is only about real estate and as we expand. So, but the true senior table of advisors for us was our financial planner, our corporate lawyer. We had 5 different we had 5 different lawyers. One day I actually spoke with each of the 5: IP, tax, immigration, etc. So our corporate lawyer, our financial planner, and our accountant. Our accountant was our advisor to advise us on different aspects, both within the business and then kind of, as you say, maximizing your wealth, which is making sure you're following the laws, but that your tax preferences are keeping your dollars as much as possible. And so to that end, we sold our business, that business, not the one I currently have, People Bright. We sold that business, and I thank the people on our strategic team who advised us. And anytime we made a change, we're going to introduce employee shares.
Right.
Bring all the 3 in, sounding board, give us advice, and
again, you can't do these things alone as a business owner. I deal with a lot of busy, entrepreneurs and busy legal professionals, and the reality is it's challenging to run a business with all of the ups and downs of that and stay on top of all of these things. So having someone who can work with your team of professionals or introduce you to a team of professionals if you don't have them adds tremendous value. That's what our clients tell us, is adds tremendous value beyond, of course, the table stake stuff, like, helping them with a financial plan that helps them to sleep better at night, knowing they've got another stream of income that'll help them retire. And ultimately just being a sounding board, as you said, to just kind of help them think through. I mean, I think of so many ways that, we've added value to our clients, and I feel privileged that we've been able to give them the time and space to look at, should I take time off from my business? Can I afford to take care of my aging parents?
Yeah.
Can I afford how much money will I need to, divorce and pay my child support payments to my and spousal support payments and still keep my business? Like there's so
Yeah,
many things that we do
yeah,
as
yeah.
advisors above and beyond just the
And
number.
that's like, I mean, you when I introduce you, you're Canada's financial confidant, right? And that's the key, is the financial is a confidant. They hear information that's they're not going to be out there
Take
saying,
it to
"Hey,
the
did you know
grave.
Joe Smith is just selling
Take
his
it
house
to
because
the
it's,
grave.
no, no." I'm going to give
And that's
the
actually why I call myself a confidant, Hilda.
yeah,
So I'm glad you brought that up. It is about two things: people having the confidence in me that I've done my research, I've done my homework,
yeah,
which means having those credentials like a certified financial planner, something that we have to get so many credits every year to keep up, being able to give people advice that we've vetted and made sure is correct. So they can depend on the information I'm giving them, but also the confidant piece as well is holding space for
yes.
people that we can have those confidential conversations about whatever it is they're having financial challenges
Yeah.
around.
Because if you don't know all the pieces of the puzzle, you cannot help solve the solution, or you cannot provide the solution that considers all aspects. And I want to kind of do a shout out to good financial planners who
Yes.
continuously improve, who learn all the products that are out there so that they can come up with the right solution.
Yes,
So
it's Financial Planning Month, y'all.
is
So
is it? Well,
celebrate
that's why I
shout
have
out
you.
all the awesome financial planners out there I do know.
So one of the things I wanted to share was part of what we did when my husband and I had our company iTrends is we brought in a financial planner to advise the staff, and they were putting money into their RSP plan. And one of our bright young lights, like she was so like she had a vision of what she wanted to do, and so she wanted to buy a car, she wanted to invest in a cottage, and she still had to pay off her loan. And she was an engineer, so she's smart. She knows numbers. She's calculating, and she's been pouring her mind out, figuring out what to do for several weeks before the meeting with the financial planner. Tells the story, and then the financial planner, okay, you invest in the RSP, you take the money from the RSP that you get back because you'll get it back on your income tax, and you invest in this and you pay this much towards your loan. And she did that all, in 3 minutes, right
Right.
after hearing the story. She said, "You did all that in 3 minutes, and I've been trying to do research, and this is what I'm saying is that you hire an expert who understands the multiplicity of possible permutations and combinations to give you the right solution. And to me, that's what financial advisors do. We've kind
Yeah.
of talked about
It's all about
how to pick.
optimizing your money because at the end of the day, we're talking about hardworking entrepreneurs, grinding it out every day. And it's also important, especially I'm talking to women on your podcast, is to make your money work, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been talking about trusted advisors and how to select the right people. And so people have heard, make sure you got somebody who keeps continuous learning, who is very, creates a trusting relation and confidant. What are some of the other things that you want to share with us that we should be looking for when we have a trusted advisor? Oh, I also like the fact that you have vetted other connections that would help this person from that holistic approach of helping them find that financial success.
Yeah, I think just ask for referrals, ask for references, check out their website, see, what do they stand for? Who do they serve?
Mhm.
Um, I think probably most importantly, because we're talking about someone that, is going to be with you throughout the highs and lows of your business, just similar to finding a doctor or finding some other trusted professional, trust your gut. Trust your gut. Is this somebody you want to have that conversation with, like a hard conversation with about, all the ups and downs? Maybe you go through a few years where your business isn't going well. Unfortunately, life cascades. People think that, there's so many blind spots that we have, right? So it could be a health challenge you're facing, at a time when your business is not going well, and all of a sudden the government decides to audit you, right? And you're needing to have a conversation with
Yeah.
your advisor about what the best scenario is. You need to feel like you can have that conversation, and that person isn't going to judge you, and they'll hold space for you, and they'll be working in your best interest and for your financial best interest. So go with your gut. That's the crucial piece.
Yeah. Because you don't necessarily know. But if your gut's saying, I don't know, or I
Yeah,
don't click with that person, when
yeah,
you click, it just becomes electrical
e-
and you create
exactly.
that trusting relationship that allows you to bare your soul, because sometimes some of the things that you have to share to get
Not
the
easy.
right solution, has to be open. It can't be
That's
guarded. Well, I can't tell them I'm having marital problems
that's what I'm
because,
saying.
well, sorry, that's a key part
That's a
of your
key,
financial
huge,
planning, right?
huge thing, right? Like I
Yeah,
said, I mean,
yeah.
I've been privileged to hold space for so many amazing clients over the course of my career. I've dealt with people who, struggled with terminal cancer for 2 years while they, shut their business down, and we retired them. And you know what? They're still here. So, but what I'm saying is, you really want, I always say to people, we may not be the right fit, but find yourself your own confidant.
Yeah. Well, thank you. What's next for you, Jackie?
Honestly, I am so excited about, this current chapter of my business. We have actually structured our planning process to include a financial organization system. So we really want to be known for at this point as Canada's first interactive financial planning process. And
Nice.
that which includes, organizing your financial documents, which is a huge pain point for our clients, along with being, while they're basically organizing their documents, they're also getting their finances in order. So we are, fully launching that in 2025. So stay tuned for that. We
Cool.
also, stay tuned, because we also in 2025 are launching our High Earning Women podcast. We currently have about 30,000 followers on all of our platforms. And we decided, we do so much amazing content on, our channels. Why not turn it into a podcast? So if you enjoy some of the things you're hearing today, feel free to check out the podcast. I'd love the feedback from your community.
Sounds inspiring, because I think as women, we often look to others to say, hey, they've done that. And I could probably do that too, right?
That's
And
right.
so having role models to aspire to basically motivates and invigorates those of us who are still aspiring or have reached that. So looking forward to your next endeavors. How do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can actually go right to my website, askjackie.ca, and click on the Contact Us page. And if you are interested, if you're struggling with some of the challenges we talked about today, click on the Contact Us button and feel free to schedule a call with Jody Uloth, who is our confidant extraordinaire, and just talk to her about your pain points. And we certainly would be happy to talk to you about how we could add value.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Jackie, for being on Rev Up Your Business and sharing your wealth of knowledge and telling us we need a runway, but we should calculating our risks. And when we get wealthy, there are ways to make sure we maximize that wealth.
Exactly. And diversifying, right? So diversifying that wealth to, be that wealthy woman.
Exactly. Thank you. Much
Thanks again.
appreciated. And to those who are listening or viewing, give this 2 thumbs up. Jackie's an amazing wealth of knowledge, and she does it from a place of love and experience. And she doesn't want anybody to feel that they can't succeed and have wealth into their future. So thank you again. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you like our guests, such as Jackie, has got a whole host of people that you can listen to. So take it easy and have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Rev Up Your Business with Hilda Gann. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube and Spotify to stay up to date with all of our latest episodes. For more HR tips, strategies, and to learn how you can create a people-centric workplace, visit our website at peoplebrightconsulting.com.